What everyone gets wrong about carry-on travel. Airlines won't warn you. Carry-on travel has been marketed as the smartest way to fly, almost like a secret level you unlock once you know what you're doing. Airlines talk about it as convenience. Content creators present it as freedom, and travelers chase it thinking it will magically remove stress. But the reality is very different. Most people who try carry-on travel end up more anxious, more rushed, and more frustrated than before. Not because carry-on travel is bad, but because the rules are incomplete and the expectations are wrong. Airlines quietly benefit when you misunderstand how this system actually works, because confusion shifts pressure onto you instead of them. Today, I am breaking down what people consistently get wrong about carry-on travel, the details airlines never slow down to explain, and how smart travelers actually make it work without turning every flight into a negotiation with reality. Size compliance, reality. Most travelers believe carry-on size is universal, like one global agreement everyone follows, and that belief causes more trouble than almost anything else. Airline size limits change by carrier, by aircraft, and sometimes even by route, but the messaging stays vague on purpose. A bag that slides easily into one overhead bin can suddenly become a problem when the plane is smaller or the airline stricter. The frustrating part is that travelers usually do nothing reckless. They buy a bag labeled carry-on approved and trust that label. What airlines do not explain is that approved does not mean accepted everywhere. Smart travelers stop trusting marketing labels and start trusting measurements. Weight distribution, misunderstanding. Another thing people misunderstand is that carry-on travel often has nothing to do with total weight, and everything to do with how that weight is arranged. A bag can technically meet requirements and still feel impossible to lift smoothly into an overhead bin. When weight pulls backward or collapses inward, movement becomes awkward and stressful. Airlines do not explain this because, once you board, the problem belongs to you. Smart travelers pack with gravity in mind. Heavier items stay low and close to the wheels, while lighter items fill the upper sections. This changes how the bag behaves when walking, lifting, and turning. The bag feels lighter without weighing less. The overpacking trap. Carry-on travel fails most often because people try to compress their entire lifestyle into a smaller bag. Instead of changing how they pack, they just shrink the container and hope it works. This leads to bags that barely close, zippers under tension, and constant repacking at security. Airlines never warn you about this because they are not responsible for how stressful your packing experience is. Smart travelers pack differently, not less thoughtfully, but more intentionally. They stop packing for fear and start packing for function. Items earn their place by doing more than one job. Once overpacking is removed, carry-on stops feeling restrictive. It starts feeling like clarity. Overhead bin competition. Most travelers assume that if they have a carry-on, overhead space is guaranteed, and that assumption collapses fast in real life. Airlines sell more carry-on size tickets than there is overhead space, and they know this. Boarding order, aircraft size, and crew discretion all affect where your bag ends up. Late boarding often means bins are already full, even if your bag technically qualifies. Smart travelers understand this system and plan around it instead of fighting it. They consider seat placement, boarding groups, and bag shape. Carry-on travel is not just about what you bring, but when you bring it on. Awareness here removes last-minute panic. Personal item confusion. The personal item is treated like a free bonus by most travelers, but it is actually a critical part of the carry-on system. Airlines allow it, but rarely explain how strictly it is measured or enforced. A soft bag that looks small can expand past limits once packed. Enforcement varies wildly, which makes the rules feel arbitrary. Smart travelers treat the personal item as intentional storage, not overflow. Essentials go there by design, not accident. This creates balance between the two bags and reduces pressure on both. When used properly, the personal item becomes the anchor of carry-on travel. Security check expectations. There is a belief that carry-on travel automatically speeds up security, but packing style matters more than bag size. Bags that are cluttered or layered poorly invite extra screening. Liquids hidden deep, electronics tangled together, and packed corners slow everything down. Airlines never explain how bag layout affects screening because it is not their concern. Smart travelers pack for visibility and access. Items that need inspection are placed where they can be reached without unpacking everything. This keeps momentum through checkpoints. Carry-on travel saves time only when packing is designed for the system you are moving through. Clothing, choice, illusions. Many people think carry-on travel means giving up style or comfort, and that belief creates unnecessary stress. They overpack outfits trying to cover every scenario, which defeats the purpose. Smart travelers think in systems, not outfits. Clothing is chosen based on how pieces work together, not how many looks they create individually. Layering, neutral bases, and adaptable shoes do more than extra shirts ever could. Airlines never explain this because clothing choices are personal, not operational. Once clothing works together, packing becomes simpler. Carry-on travel feels sustainable instead of limiting. Gate check, reality. Gate checking is often presented as a rare exception, but in reality, it happens frequently and strategically. Airlines use it to manage space, not to punish travelers. The problem is that most people are not prepared for it mentally or practically. Smart travelers assume it might happen and pack essentials accordingly. Important items stay with them no matter what. This removes fear from the situation entirely. Carry-on travel works best when plans include flexibility. When you expect possibilities instead of resisting them, frustration disappears. Rolling versus backpack confusion. The debate between rolling bags and backpacks misses the point entirely. Neither is better in every situation. Aircraft aisle width, terminal layout, stairs, and walking distance all change which option works best. Airlines do not guide this decision because it depends on how you move, not what you buy. Smart travelers choose based on trip type, not trends. Sometimes wheels are perfect, sometimes they are a burden. Carry-on travel is about compatibility, not popularity. Choosing the right tool makes everything smoother. Mental load, nobody mentions. The part airlines never warn you about is the mental adjustment carry-on. Travel requires at first. Decision-making increases, mistakes feel louder, and packing feels deliberate. This phase turns many people away before the benefits appear. What airlines do not explain is that this load fades quickly once systems form. Smart travelers build routines that remove guesswork entirely. Packing becomes automatic. Movement becomes smooth. Carry-on travel eventually reduces stress instead of creating it. But only if you push past the learning curve. If this finally explained why carry-on travel never felt as simple as people claimed, leave a comment and share what part always tripped you up. Hit like if this helped you see airline travel more clearly, because it helps more people avoid frustration they think is normal. Subscribe if you want honest travel breakdowns that focus on how things actually work, not how they are advertised. Share this with someone who thinks carry-on travel is effortless, because understanding it changes everything.